Hello everyone, this is Draws23 from Tactical Excellence, also known as TacX. Appreciate you taking time to look at our channel, see how we like to play ArmA 3. Today I just want to do something a little bit different. I normally just post my videos up with just kill shots, movements, somewhat of a tactical situation that you have to kind of look at yourself and kind of analyze and see kind of what's going on. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time just talking about my favorite rifle of all time, and that is, well, for ArmA anyway, that would be the ABR MK18. On the civilian side, or more commonly known, this is an M14 variant. This is a package that's very similar to one that you can actually purchase for your M14 if you wanted to convert it over to something more of a sniper role. M14s have been used quite extensively as sniper rifles, and more specifically a battle rifle. Effective ranges are well above 800 or around 800 meters. I'd prefer to say, especially in this game, that we're probably looking at about 500 to 700 meters for effective firing range. 500 meters, very, very accomplished in this particular rifle. I want to show you just a couple of things about this rifle that's important. I'm going to switch over to my favorite scope for this gun, what I believe is quite possibly the preferable scope for the ABR. ABRs generally do not kill very well past about 800 meters, so using something very large like an SOS can be a problem when it comes to trying to battle close range. The DMS scope has a great scoping system. It's not quite as far out, but it does give you a pretty good range of zoom. Plus it also offers the ability to go close quarters with a very effective dot sight. I'm looking at a target now that's about 500 meters away. I've scoped it before, but we'll take it a quick look again. Assuming on the target, we're right at 500 meters. And the ABR can quite easily stop pretty much any personnel about 500 meters away. The ABR is also very effective when you're using a silencer within about 600 meters. Has a great stopping power, pushes out pretty far. You can take some shots pretty quickly. You can adjust pretty quickly with the shooting system. This is the chevron system. That one was high. That one might be left. Center mass. Looks like it's about right there. As you can see, the ABR is very good. There's a next little clip we're going to push into. It's going to show a little bit more benefits of an ABR using even a larger scope, like a SOS. But you also notice that the accuracy and the killing power, which is not demonstrated here, is quite a bit reduced as you push out past about 800 meters. The next thing I'd really like to talk about in terms of equipment is DMS scope and its ranging system. Many scopes don't have an option for you to be able to figure out how far a target really is when it comes to looking through the scope. You'd have to use something like a laser designator, or you have to make a quick estimate in your head, which is very inaccurate generally. But the DMS scope allows us to use this line at the bottom of the scope with a slope on it that has numbers attached to it. It gives us a semi-accurate range of how far a target is from you. It gives you a quick estimate of how much you have to adjust your doping or your scope to be able to make an effective shot on the target, whether that be to protect a friend from enemies, or protect yourself, or even make that kill shot if you get skilled enough. And if you'll notice at the bottom of the scope that there's a dotted slope that goes up. It starts at 10, 8, 6, so forth, and that's the line point where targets are estimated to be distance-wise. This is generally only effective when someone is standing and moving, so a person is around 6 feet tall or just under, and it gives you an idea of how far they are. Kneeling and laying down is much more difficult, but if you spend enough time, you start to get kind of used to how that works. I just kind of want to show you a little bit about how this system actually does work. If I pull up to this target, which I know is 500 meters, it's just this man right here. I'm going to push it up to 600 meters, and I'll notice that his body kind of falls in between the lines, kind of on the lines, but not necessarily inside the lines. And I want to move it over a little bit until I get the body just inside the lines. And you can see that this tells us it's about 500 meters. We know for a fact it's 500 meters. If I were to dope my scope to the right range and pull the trigger, I should take a hit on the target, and there it is. Over to the next target, probably a little bit further away. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller in between the lines. I move it over. It might be just over 500 meters. It could be between 525 and 550. But I'm going to try center mass shot anyway and see if this is effective. And there we go. And the next target we know for sure is further away. But how much further away is it? Maybe another 30 meters. I'm going to try another center mass shot and see what happens. And there's another hit. It's not necessarily going to get you the headshot, but it will get the job done in effectively suppressing targets or possibly getting a kill shot. It's a very good system for a quick fire, high speed battle, something that you don't have to spend a lot of time on. Pulling out the thermal scopes and looking at something and then coming back in and then trying to range the target. If it's a limited exposure target, one that's only going to last a couple of seconds across your screen, you need to be able to figure that out quickly. And quickly is the key when you're fighting in a semi-urban environment or something that has a lot of cover. In the next section, we're going to go a little bit further into using other scopes and the effectiveness of the ABR. But I just wanted to kind of point that little system out. In this final section, I just want to show kind of what can be accomplished when using an ABR rifle. I've already talked a little bit about how far the rifle is effective in terms of killing. But the rifle also has a lot of options that let you to work on targets that are much further away. You just have to use the right equipment and get in the right mindset when you're trying to push out targets further than 800 meters. Now, the target you can see kind of out in the distance, that target I've already ranged out at about 1,327 meters. You know, that's generally much further than you ever want to fire an ABR. It's not going to generally get a kill shot even if someone doesn't have body armor. And it really limits your accuracy. It's quite a bit harder to find that accurate shot. If someone's moving, it's almost impossible to make this shot. But I want to show you a little bit more what is accomplishable with this particular rifle. Right at this moment, I have the suppressor hooked up to the rifle. I want to look out on the target. A suppressor at this distance really is not effective. I've tried to use it in different combinations. I've used the suppressor at further distances and gotten kills, but it's not really something you want to do. And I'll kind of demonstrate that at this moment right now. I'm going to push this dope disc scope out to about 1,200 meters. I know it's 1,300, but I'm just going to fire a shot at about 1,200 center mass and see where my bullet lands. I don't even see a splash on the target. Nothing that shows me or indicates to me that round is even getting anywhere near that target. I'm going to switch over now. I'm going to move this suppressor out of the rifle, and I'm going to look at the target again at 1,200 meters center mass and see what I see. I'm trying to get an indication of where the bullet's landing in relationship to the target I'm trying to hit. I can see that it's about 30 meters off. I'm going to push the chevron up above the target just a little bit, probably right in between the chevrons, and see if I get another splash somewhere near the target. There, that's a lot closer. A little bit to the right. Let's see if I can move it back a little bit. Oh, there we go. We got a hit. Probably low, not necessarily center mass, but it's pretty close to the target. I'm going to fire a little bit higher, see if I get another hit on the target. And I'm to the right a little bit, but a little bit higher on the target. Second round made impact on the target. You can see that this makes a big difference. You're not going to be able to hit targets effectively from that range, no matter how skilled you really are. I'm a pretty good shooter, probably not the best. Some people might do a little bit, quite a bit better than I do, but I try. And there's another hit on the target. If you look at it from an effectiveness perspective, the ABR really is the top quality rifle to use. There's another version of a 7.62 by 51 NATO that carries 10 rounds. It's quite accurate, but it doesn't provide the effectiveness of a 20-round magazine, with the added inclusion of having a dot sight for close quarter combat and automatic features. The ABR really, in my opinion, is the best rifle to use in ArmA 3 for multi-purpose use. If you want to go out a little bit further, grab a big sniper rifle. If you want to shoot people in the street, you know, using a 6.5 or even the Vermin, is probably your best option, but the ABR will get the job done in pretty much any situation, and the ABR is by far my favorite. As a variant of the M14, it's been effective for many, many years, since before the Vietnam War. Hope this was enjoyable, something that you can get some insight from, help you out with your gameplay. This is Draws23 from Tactical Excellence, signing off. Thank you very much.